Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video let's do the review of this Motorola One Fusion Plus, a very long name. And I have been actually testing this for over a week, and quite a few of you were asking me to post its review. So here we go, and I'll divide it between the pros and cons, what I like and what do I do not like. And overall I would say finally after a long time Motorola has made a good mid-range smartphone in India and have got the pricing right. This sells in India for 17,000 rupees. And before we proceed, let's talk about the specs. So as you can see, here are the specs. It's having a 6.5-inch screen, a 5000 milliamp hour battery, a quad rear facing camera, and other specs are on the screen. And guys, I won't get into a general overview and all those things. I've already done that in my unboxing video. So if you want to know more, watch my unboxing video. Let's quickly just jump between the pros and cons. And let's start with the pros. And the first thing is that this one is having that 6.5-inch screen. And guys, if you look at it, no notch or anything on this one because it's a full view screen. And they have put this camera, the front facing camera is actually a pop-up. So you get that immersive experience. Some people don't like those notches or something. So if you're that kind of a person, this is for you. And it's an IPS grade screen, guys. And the quality of the screen is actually good. It's HDR10 certified. And I would say the video watching experience was good on it. So it's a good IPS grade screen, but no AMOLED or anything like that. And next, if we talk about one more small thing is that when I was testing this phone, I accidentally got caught up in slight rain, and I was very scared what will happen to this because a little bit of rain splashed on this one. But I'm happy to say that nothing happened to this phone. And I did check the Motorola website. They say that it is splash resistant. So it looks like nano coating is there on this one. And next thing that I really liked, and if you look at it, the interface, there's almost stock Android interface that we are having on this smartphone. And again, this is a very big thing, guys, in the mid-range market. It's stock Android without any ads or without any bloatware, and that is what I really loved on this. We are simply not getting that in the mid-range market. For example, we have a lot of ads on other smartphones or a lot of bloatware and stuff like that. This is still that almost stock Android experience that you would expect, apart from some Motorola specific apps like the Moto display and all those things here we have. But apart from that, no bloatware, no ads, no crapware. That is a big deal, I would say. And many of the users are fed up because we are simply not getting that type of smartphones in the mid-range market. So that way I really like it. And because it's having that almost stock Android experience, the phone is also very fast. And the processor used is the Snapdragon 730G on this one, which is again a blazingly fast processor. And because it's almost stock Android experience, it's a very fast phone. And this comes in only one variant, 6 gigabytes of RAM. And I'm happy to say that that 6 gigabytes of RAM handles everything you throw on it fine. You don't have to worry about it. So that's actually a nice thing. And the storage is again 128 gigabytes, which I feel for this price point is decent. Next, if I talk about another small thing, is that this one has the headphone jack, and I have to say the quality of output that I got from the headphone 3.5mm headphone jack was actually good on this one. I tested it with multiple headphones, for example my Audio Technica M50X, then also my Grado, and some of the budget oriented Sennheisers like the C275S, which I reviewed. And again, the audio output that I got from all of them was fantastic. So if you listen to a lot of music and have some good decent 3.5mm headphone jack based earphones and headphones, you will enjoy the music on this one. Next, if we talk about the processor, as I told you, it's the Snapdragon 730G, and it's a very good processor. I would say in the mid-range as of now, this is the most powerful processor that you can get. And because of that, again, no lagginess or anything that I have noticed on this. So again, the UI experience is also very good on this one. Now, if we talk about the call quality and network, again, as you can see, guys, both of my SIMs are actually in this. That's my Airtel as well as Jio SIM, and I would say the network reception is above average. For example, in this area of my office, generally with many of the phones, the signal drops quite a bit low, but on this one I would say it doesn't denote proper bar, but I would say it's slightly over 1 bar compared to many of the other phones. And that is what I noticed in terms of network reception. The network reception is good. Moving to the earpiece quality is also good, but I wouldn't say it's the best. If I have to rate it, I'll rate it 8.5 out of 10. It's not like I had any problem, but I would say I have seen better earpiece, but again, those are on higher end smartphones. Moving to the speaker, here I'm happy to say that it's not having a stereo speaker or anything, but the speaker is actually pretty loud. Let's go to the Wi-Fi and search for my own videos, and let's just try to play back this one itself. Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video, let's do a comparison between the Galaxy S20 Plus and the iPhone 11 Pro Max. In fact, this is my... So as you heard guys, the audio quality is actually good on this one. Though it's a single speaker, actually much louder compared to many of the other smartphones. Now moving to another thing that I liked is that it does not have any notification light or anything like that physical, but it has moto display. For example, when you pick up the phone, you get this, and as you can see the icons over here, if you just press on it, it gives you an idea what's happening. In fact, if you have less emails, it will actually read it out and stuff like this. So I like this implementation of that notifications on this one. You have to pick it up and it goes. And now moving to another thing is that this one has a fingerprint scanner here at the back, so again it's fine. I didn't have a problem because of the animation. It takes about half a second, but it is fast. It's that animation that is taking half a second. And again, it's a very reliable fingerprint scanner. So if you prefer the physical fingerprint scanner, yeah, you have this one. Now moving to another thing that is regarding gaming. I played only Call of Duty on this smartphone, but as it's having the Snapdragon 730G, the performance was very good. So again, the 730G, as you can see, is the gaming centric chipset, and again, you can play most of the popular heavy games also without any issues on that one. Now let's move to one thing that really impressed me on this smartphone, and that's the battery. On paper, it has that 5000 milliamp hour battery on this one, and I have to say the battery results that I got on this one are amazing. In terms of screen on time, anywhere around 9 hours to 11 hours of screen on time, as you can see with this battery stats. And in terms of standby time, that was also very good. For most users, it will give you about 2 days worth of battery life, and even for heavy users, you can expect about 1.5 days of battery life. So that is one thing that really impressed me in terms of battery life. The optimizations, what they have done, and because of that stock Android, I would say the battery life that we are getting on this phone is excellent. It comes with an 18-watt fast charger in the box. So again, in terms of battery life, I really liked it, and the idle drain is also very, very less. It feels like it's having more than a 5000 milliamp hour battery, because I have reviewed so many other phones having battery closer to 5000, but this one goes really ahead, I would say. Now moving to another thing, if you look at the back, it has that quad camera setup on this smartphone, and the main camera is actually that 64 megapixel. Then we have 8 megapixel, that's ultra wide, 5 megapixel is macro, and the 2 megapixel is for depth. The front facing camera, as I've told you, let me show you here. As you can see, it's that pop-up camera, and it's a 16 megapixel that you're getting. And here are some of the sample shots that I have taken with this Motorola One Fusion Plus, and as you can see, the camera performance is actually really good. This is one thing that actually surprised me. Even if you look at the skin tones were produced actually very well, and in fact, even in artificial lighting conditions, it performed actually pretty well. Only when the lighting conditions were very low, yes, it did struggle a little bit, but that's the case with most of the mid-range smartphones. And in fact, I'm going to say this, till date in 2020, I always said that the Poco X2's rear facing camera was the best, but this one comes very close to that. Yes, the Poco X2 in one or two areas I felt its rear facing camera went slightly ahead, but this one was no slouch, which is a big surprise frankly for me also. And in fact it also has the night mode and all those things, and the night mode actually works very well. As you can see, this sample was taken without the night mode and this was taken in the night mode. Moving to the front facing camera, it's that pop-up camera that we are getting, and as you can see with the sample shots, the front facing camera performance is also very good. It's a 16 megapixel, but it actually does pixel binning. That means normal shots it takes are actually at that 4 megapixel, and yes, it does a good job, but I felt that the front facing camera in artificial lighting conditions does struggle up a little bit. Hopefully with the software update they can fix it. So guys, these were the good things about the device, and I have to stress that stock Android without the ads is a big deal as of now, considering what is happening these days. Now let's move to the cons, and these are some very peculiar cons, but let's go over them. And the first thing is we have a dedicated button here for the Google Assistant, one extra button, and if you press it, the Google Assistant will come up. But it is very strange that inside the UI they haven't actually given us an option to customize this. I don't use that Google Assistant that much, so if they would have given a button to customize it, that would have been great. Moving to one more thing that I simply did not like is that the compass sensor is simply not there. For example, as I try to run this app, it says that the compass sensor is not there. It's not a deal breaker because I did some navigation with Google Maps and it worked, but sad to see that the compass sensor is missing on this smartphone. Now moving to one more thing, then this is sort of nitpicking. I would say right now it's connected to Wi-Fi, and this actually supports Wi-Fi calling by default, and right now as it's connected by Wi-Fi, it will use Wi-Fi calling and not a regular one. But we don't have a toggle here for shutting off the Wi-Fi calling. If you want to do that, you have to actually hit this button, and then only it won't use that Wi-Fi calling. So I hope they implement the Wi-Fi calling option in the settings with a future update. Next thing is, as I've told you, the camera, specifically the front facing camera, I feel could do a little bit better in difficult lighting conditions. Hopefully they do that with the software OTA update. And moving to the next thing is that regarding updates, Motorola has said when I spoke to them before the phone was launched that this device will be getting the Android update. If I go to update, system updates, for the next Android version, right now it's on Android 10, we'll also be getting Android 11 and Android security updates for the next 2 years also. But as you can see, still it's on the April update, so I don't think so that security updates we'll be getting monthly, but looks like we might get it every 3 or 4 months. So that is also something you got to note. And apart from that, I would say the back is again that polycarbonate plastic kind of a back. This reminds me of the Samsung Galaxy M31, so best to use it with the case that is supplied in the box. And lastly, this has that 5000 milliamp hour battery, and Motorola is supplying that 18 watt fast charger. I feel they could have gone with slightly higher wattage, that like 25 watts or something like that. But overall, I would say I'm liking this phone for that stock Android that you're having, no bloatware, no ads. I can't stress how much important that is as of now. And also the processor that is used, that 730G, is a very good processor, and as I've told you, the battery life was terrific. So overall, I would say for the price point of 17,000 rupees, certainly this is a very good Android phone. Anyways guys, that's it for my review of this Moto phone. If you guys are still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care guys.